Jake Paul. All day, every day.
Why?
Just think he knocks him out cold.
Would you be willing to take the bet with Tyson Fury that's saying that Jake is going to beat you?
No, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say. That's what I'm saying. It ain't even about the money. I'm betting on myself. Yep. I'm focusing on myself. I'm fully betting on myself. I ain't worried about what anyone's got to say.
So when I'm bouncing around the ring, jabbing, weaving, and doing all of these things, I know I can pick them apart and score points and make this a very, very big contest.
Reports say Tyson Fury shocked everyone by suddenly crashing the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul press conference, instantly changing the room's energy with cameras rolling. Fury gave a bold warning to Joshua, claiming Jake Paul is more dangerous than people realize. He said Paul has the power, discipline, and confidence to cause a major upset. Fury even added he would bet £1 million on Paul to beat Joshua, a statement that stunned fans and analysts alike.
Talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look. A bit chubby, bit bulky. I like how Jake Paul calls out the full spectrum from...
Anthony Joshua responded strongly to Tyson Fury's bold £1 million bet on Jake Paul knocking him out. Joshua said he is not distracted by bets or outside noise and is focused only on himself and performing in the ring. He called the wager irrelevant and said he prefers to trust his own abilities rather than get caught up in hype or gambling. Joshua made it clear he is preparing to fight, earn his paycheck, and move on with no interest in bets or outside predictions.
Would you be willing to take the bet with Tyson Fury that's saying that Jake is going to beat you?
No, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say. That's what I'm saying. It ain't even about the money. I'm betting on myself. Yep. I'm focusing on myself. I'm fully betting on myself. I ain't worried about what anyone's got to say.
He did say he's going to put £1 million on it. Would you be willing to take that bet with Tyson Fury?
Respectfully, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say, or I'm not here for any of that betting and nonsense. I'm here to fight, and that's all it is. Once I get the job done, I'm gonna collect my check, cash it, and I'm gonna focus on the next one. My bet is on me doing a number.
Jake Paul is confident he can beat Joshua, claiming that Anthony Joshua struggles against smaller opponents, which he sees as an advantage. Analysts, including a commentator named Henry on a podcast, have reviewed Joshua's fights with smaller fighters, noting certain patterns. While Paul focuses on this perceived weakness, the analysis shows that Joshua's skill, power, and reach usually overcome size differences. The conversation highlights the wider debate on how physical gaps affect fights, yet Joshua's experience and preparation make him a tough challenge, no matter Paul's claims.
Anthony Joshua definitely doesn't struggle, and that's against guys who are of a similar stature to him. When he won his first world title against Charles Martin, he was a taller heavyweight, not taller than AJ necessarily, but a heavyweight of taller stature, and he got that one with a very simple knockout. It was one of the easiest fights of Anthony Joshua's career. He had a war against Vladimir Klitschko, but again, he was highly competitive and eventually managed to get Klitschko out of there. In the Kubrat-Pulev fight, while it was a mixed performance, he did end up producing one of his best knockouts. Similarly against Robert Helenius, whilst AJ probably didn't put in one of his best performances, again, it ended in another dramatic knockout. He was punch perfect against Otto Wallin, in my opinion, and he had that absolutely devastating knockout win against Francis Ngannou, who, of course, an absolutely enormous man with a fantastic chin, or so it seemed until Anthony Joshua got his hands on him. Even earlier on in his career against the likes of White, Brazil, and Molina, these were all taller heavyweights who AJ dealt with consummate ease. Of course, most recently he had that loss against Daniel Dubois, but we can't say that
Jake presents himself as a fearless fighter ready for any challenge, but beneath the showmanship he knows the huge size gap he faces. He jokes about having to look up just to meet Joshua's eyes, yet he projects the same confidence he shows before every big fight. He wants people to believe his self-assurance can help him against a fighter who has held major titles and beaten top opponents. Jake frames the matchup as a lesson for young fighters, showing that stepping up against someone this strong takes courage and ambition.
You, Anthony Joshua, how we doing?
Dude, never been better. This is what I dreamed of. This is what I manifested into reality. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here. First round KO.
And the Schmo interviewed you there when you fought Gibb. It was on Fight TV. We've been with you along the way. Not very many times you're looking up at a face-off. So what did you make of looking up for one of the very first times at a face-off right here?
Just looking up at Daddy there and just seeing, how big he is, and just my eyes were kind of going into his nipples and stuff, which I kind of liked. And then basically I was just like, whoa, he's big in that. And then, I can't believe how tall he is.
Is this chain really on the line for the winner?
I don't know if it's confirmed, but I mean, I'm down. But he has to put something up too. There has to be something in it for me.
You say this is the biggest upset that's going to be in boxing history, right up there with 42-1 with Buster Douglas.
Yep.
What is the headline going to be when you knock this guy out and he's laying on the canvas?
Matchroom CEO Frank Smith has stirred new debate over the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight, saying the event is more about show than sport. He argued the bout is likely to be a spectacle made for entertainment, rather than a real test of skill. Smith suggested fans are being sold shock value over true competitive boxing by presenting it as serious entertainment. He questioned how genuine or competitive the fight would actually be. Smith also expressed hope that a Joshua versus Fury fight could happen, calling it the biggest possible matchup and optimistic it could happen by 2026. At the same time, he warned the boxing involves a lot of talk, and not all planned fights happen, pointing out that while fans are excited, many logistical and contract issues still need to be resolved.
Just to silence all the doubters here, you know, a lot of people saying this can't be real, you know, Anthony Joshua going in there, it must be an exhibition, or Anthony Joshua's going to it's going to be choreographed and Anthony's going to carry him through a couple of rounds. I know Anthony Joshua, just to silence all those doubters, he's going to go in there to do a job, right?
It's 100% real. It's 100% real. People ask him, why is it 8 rounds, not 10? Because I don't think it goes past the first round. So it's, you know, regardless, it's quite irrelevant. I think he steps across the ring and knocks him out, you know, but we're in for a bit of fun and everyone's going to be tuning in.
It might not be fun for Jake Paul. I mean, it's serious entertainment, is it?
Yeah, 100%. You know, look, I agree with you. I accept Jake Paul is absolutely mental for doing this, and I don't think he quite realizes. I think he's got people around him who actually are saying, you know, Anthony Joshua's chinny. He said it in interviews. It's quite wild, but you know, if that's the world he wants to live in, he'll find out on December 19th.
And Frank, to finish with, the plan is still sometime in 2026, AJ against Tyson Fury, and Turki Al-Sheikh's working on that, is he?
That's the fight we want to make. That's the fight we want to see. Look, we're all guilty of doing a lot of talking over the years and that not happening. So I don't want to talk too much, but that is definitely what we want to see in 2026.
Joe Rogan believes the matchup is extremely dangerous, calling it one of the wildest fight ideas in recent memory. He points out that Joshua's size, power, and experience make him a serious threat for Paul, a former champion with Olympic experience and proven knockout ability. Rogan doubts any contract rules will lessen Joshua's threat, saying they cannot reduce his skill or power. He highlighted Joshua's knockout of Francis Ngannou as a clear example of just how dangerous he can be. Rogan warns that Ngannou's loss should serve as a caution for Paul. Stepping into the ring with Joshua is not just a challenge, it could have serious consequences.
Anthony Joshua.
Boy. Well, realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time. You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. Maybe we should watch the Francis Ngannou fight. So you could see, let's watch that real quick, just so you can see what Anthony Joshua is capable if he's fighting someone that's not in his league. Okay, look, Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice, and Andy Ruiz caught him in the first fight and dropped him and stopped him. It was spectacular. Andy Ruiz is super fucking talented. Usyk is perhaps the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. Maybe one of the greatest of all time in any weight class. Usyk. You know, and Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice. But Francis Ngannou is coming off of this fight with, like, go a little bit before that so we can see this happen. Watch this.
Highlights, we can't watch the whole fight.
So he drops him with a right hand early, and this is like 2 minutes into the first round. And Francis gets up, he survives, and then Joshua, check out this combination he hits him with. I mean, dude, the speed that he hits him with this, he's so dangerous, man. It's like you're dealing with a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist, and he's enormous, and he's got vicious knockout power, and he's got immense amount of experience at world-class levels. Just think about what we said earlier. Fought Usyk twice, fought Andy Ruiz.
Brendan Shaw and Brian Callen have expressed serious doubts about Jake Paul's mindset ahead of the fight with Anthony Joshua. They say Paul's casual bravado and bold calls may show he doesn't fully grasp how dangerous Joshua is. According to them, Paul risks underestimating the threat, and his lack of experience combined with a jump in competition could be disastrous. While some admire Paul's courage, Shaw and Callen believe this fight requires respect, discipline, and a clear understanding of the risks qualities. They worry Paul may be ignoring. Some analysts have suggested that despite this, Paul could still have a chance to knock out Joshua.
Sparring, getting hit, that you just know you're talking about Olympic gold medalist. I don't think people understand how good Anthony Joshua is. They see him against Usyk or they see him against Ruiz, and they're like, oh, he lost. And they think somehow that because he's nice, that he's not an absolute killer.
I don't think everyone
knows
that, B.
A lot of people are like,
You're hanging out with the wrong people then. I mean,
6'6", 245. Let me just say this. It's a different ecosystem. Look, Jake's a thick kid. 227 is a lot. It's heavy. He's big. He's athletic. But this is different. You're not Usyk. You ain't Usyk.
Jesus.
You're talking about a very different athlete.
Do you want me to go now?
Please.
With all your rambling here?
Please.
Dude, first of all, before I go in on the cojones on Jake Paul, you have got to...
That's what I said.
Whatever the fuck your criticism of the guy is, whatever... The cojones, the huevos on this fucking kid...
I agree.
To step in there with fucking Anthony Joshua is insane. He deserves all the money.
With 14 ounce
and what he's doing is flipping boxing on its fucking head. And this is exactly what he's there for. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Kudos to him. Kudos to him.
100%.
Now, what bothers me is when you and other people go, I mean, Jake's 6'1", 227. I mean, it's insane. The other guy's 6'6". Jake could be 6'10".
I know.
300
I'm very
pounds
aware
of
of
shredded.
this.
What you guys are missing the mark on is Anthony Joshua is a gold medal winner in the Olympics.
It's high level professional. High level.
No, hold on. World champion. So I don't like it when we're talking like, dude, he's
it's not a physical thing,
bigger.
It's a skill thing.
So I'll say this, and I'm not saying it's a fake fight. It's rigged, especially because you got Eddie Hearn involved, and they're using 10-ounce gloves,
10-ounce
which is a big deal, and it's 8 3-minute rounds. 10-ounce gloves.
It's terrifying.
That's what you do in professional boxing, heavyweight boxing, which those do nothing, by the way.
They do nothing.
What you guys need to understand is, if this fight's not fixed, no one's taking a fall, cut all that narrative out. But I will tell you this. If Anthony Joshua decides to take this as serious as...
One notable voice is former world champion and trainer Buddy McGirt, who sees the fight as surprisingly competitive given Paul's growth. As a heavyweight, McGirt views the matchup as nearly even, pointing to both fighters' size, reach, and punching power as elements that could shift the fight either way. He highlights that in heavyweight boxing, a single well-placed punch can change everything, giving an underdog like Paul a chance to take advantage of any opening. While many still see Joshua as the clear favorite due to experience and pedigree, McGirt and other analysts stress that Paul's dedication, recent improvement, and fearlessness in the ring make a knockout, though unlikely, still possible.
Jake Paul is going to win this fight by knockout. You would think I'm absolutely crazy, right? But the thing is, it can happen. 10-ounce gloves, heavyweight, Jake Paul can punch hard. But do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not, mate. Anthony Joshua is an absolute beast, an unbelievable, highly skilled, highly trained, highly experienced professional boxer with power in both hands, and he's really good at finishing people off. And even though I really take my hat off for Jake Paul for taking this fight, I didn't really want to take it because of what's going to happen in the result of this fight, and I want to keep on this Jake Paul train. I think he's doing great, and I love his ambition. I love that he's trying to become a world champion and following his dreams and believing in himself, but at a certain point, you bite off more than you can chew. And this right here...
The fight has drawn major attention, and treating it as a proper professional bout matters for both fighters. Joshua has suggested he might not throw his punches at full power, taking care not to put Paul in serious danger. This cautious approach shows Joshua's focus on safety. While keeping professional boxing standards, he aims to balance intensity with responsibility, showing respect for both his opponent and the sport by controlling his power and timing. Joshua keeps the fight legitimate and Structured rather than reckless, while still delivering a serious contest for fans, this careful strategy highlights the balance between competition and safety that shapes the fight.
Fight itself, all we know is that we're being told from those people that this is a fully professional boxing contest. I'd like to see the small print, to be totally honest with you, but that's what we're being told. We're being told that it's going to be 8 3-minute rounds. We're being told that they're going to use 10-ounce gloves, which are far too fucking small for Anthony Joshua to hit you in the face with when you're there. Listen, Jake's a good novice. Jake's a good novice.
Oh, yeah.
And if he wanted to have a legitimate career in boxing, then he would climb the domestic rankings in America, and he might even make top 50. He might make top 50 if you pick him right, great. But if you put him in with meritocracy and put him in rankings and actually make him fight the number 49 guy in America or try and climb up, he's going to get found out because he's a nutter novice. Now I speak from experience here. I did an exhibition bout with Shane Neary, a former world champion, and I was fucking 2 or 3 stone bigger than him. I was 5 inches bigger than him, very similar to AJ and Jake Paul, and I was a novice. I'd boxed, sparred and moved around my whole life, but I'd never been in a competitive fight, and we did it for charity, and we did 3 rounds, and at the end of it, I realised, and I knew it going in, that Shane Neary controlled pretty much every second of those 3 minutes. Pretty much every second he controlled. He put the pressure on me in 1 round, he hit me with the body shot in the 2nd round, and he caught everything I threw at him in the 3rd round when he said, go on, try and knock me out. Caught everything. And, you know, in a similar vein, Anthony Joshua controlled.
Aries Spears recently caused a stir by claiming that if Jake Paul somehow beats Anthony Joshua, it would suggest the fight was fixed. Spears says Joshua, a seasoned heavyweight with a strong professional record, is in a completely different league from the opponents Paul has faced so far. Given the big gap in experience and reputation, Spears believes a Paul upset would seem suspicious rather than a fair sporting outcome. His comments add to the debate about whether celebrity-style boxing can ever match the competitive integrity of real heavyweight bouts.
I was supposed to fight Gervonta.
Now he's fighting, what's his name?
Anthony Joshua.
Andrew Joshua, yeah.
Anthony Joshua.
He gonna get mopped.
According to betonline.ag, Anthony Joshua's has minus 2,000 odds. That means you'd have to bet $2,000 to win $100.
If you think that Jake's gonna, what's his name?
Yeah, if you bet on Anthony Joshua to win.
Yes.
You'd have to bet 2,000 to get back 100.
Yeah.
Now, if you put your money on Jake Paul, he's plus 800. That means that if you bet $100 on him and he wins, you get 800 back.
Let me tell you something. If Anthony Joshua loses this...
What do you think? Can Jake Paul really pull off an upset against Anthony Joshua? Or is the size and experience gap too big? Share your thoughts in the comments below.